And you had 9 out of 10 of your customers unhappy.
They were ready to go crazy. There were 7 senior leaders on the team when I joined the company as the CFO. And within 6 months, there were 2 of us left.
Did you have any idea that was coming?
No, I had no idea. But, the board had a lot of confidence, I guess, in me.
Obviously.
Because I was 6 months with the company and they handed it to me. But I would not recommend that course of action for anyone because it really made it very difficult for us to pull things back together, which meant that I had to set about hiring a new team. But I also found a culture that had somehow deteriorated over time. The ownership now became what I called entitlement. It became about the individuals within the ESOP versus, the company as a whole.
Yeah.
And so we had to address some of those things, in addition to addressing the fact that leadership needed to be brought on board. I needed to assemble.
So Heather, a couple clarifying questions on that. So how was the cash flow position of the company?
Oh, don't talk about that.
That's all I talk about. Cause
not as strong as it should be in an employee-owned company, because employee-owned companies do generate cash because they, if they are a sub-S,
they don't pay any taxes.
Then
Fantastic.
It's actually deferred, right? So it's when there's a distribution taken back that taxes are paid.
Distributions, just for clarification, the distributions of the employee who retired or quit.
Correct.
So it's
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
I just want to make sure because I'm a big geek on ESOPs and it's part of my workshop. So, but I think it's important because even though you're not paying the income taxes, there's still a cash flow issue. And also some more context I was curious on is, so juggling cash flow is always part of the dynamic of a leader like yourself. And I think that's important to note the constraints. Like when we were talking before we hit record, understanding that there are constraints, right? You can't just go do whatever you want because you have to deal with a certain amount of constraints, but they're within the spirit of the whole. And then you had said that you got some entitled employees, or there was more entitlement for the individual. Was there any great game of business, open book management? But what was the previous? Obviously, the leadership team was not doing something right.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't all bad. I mean, employee ownership. You had highly engaged employees and so on. But if it's not nurtured,
right,
and if employees are not, if we're not helping them to understand truly what's required of them and the expectations, then they just do what they think they ought to do.